The silent invasion. The sun was dipping behind the Colorado Rockies, casting long shadows over the dense pine forest. Commander Eli Ward sat on a flat rock near the riverbank, his old boots half submerged in the icy stream. Beside him lay Rex, a massive German shepherd with streaks of silver in his fur and a faint glow in his mechanical left eye. His ears twitched constantly, tracking every bird, every breeze. Always alert. It had been 3 years since Eli left the Earth Defense Force. He hadn't missed the sound of gunfire in zero gravity, or the lifeless corridors of orbital warships. What he missed was simpler peace, solitude, and the company of the only creature he trusted with his life. Rex stirred suddenly, head lifting toward the sky. His ears flattened, and a low growl rumbled from his throat. Eli sat up, instantly alert. "What is it, boy?" Rex's eyes locked on a point high above the treetops. Nothing visible. No contrails, no ships, no satellites crossing the dusky sky. But the dog didn't move his gaze. "Neural interference," Rex said in a clipped voice. The words came from a collar-mounted speaker, filtered through the AI interpreter connected to his brainstem chip. Pattern resembles residual Var-Carry signal traces. Eli's stomach tightened. That name, Var-Carry, hadn't crossed his mind in years. The parasitic swarm species had been declared extinct. Their last known hive was wiped out near Titan during the war. "You sure?" Rex nodded once. 92.3% confidence. Faint, distorted. Possibly cloaked. Eli stood. His military instincts kicked in like a reflex. He scanned the horizon again, this time as a soldier. Moments later, his wristcom crackled to life, an old line still linked to EDF command. "Commander Ward, this is Control. Priority Sigma 1. We've lost contact with Outpost Vega 6. Long-range drones show evidence of forced decompression and organic residue." Eli didn't speak. He didn't have to. He was already moving. "You want me back?" "Affirmative. Your clearance remains active. Pack for deployment. A transport arrives in 2 hours." He glanced at Rex, who was already standing, tail stiff, gaze still fixed skyward. "I'm in," Eli said, ending the call. 2 hours later, a sleek EDF transport ship descended silently into a clearing near Eli's cabin. Dust and pine needles flew as the engines roared softly on landing. Eli secured his gear: exo-armor suit, high-frequency rifle, old combat knife, and Rex's neural uplink harness. The dog stood still as Eli fitted it, his breathing calm and steady. He'd worn it dozens of times before, in dozens of battles. It was part of him now. On board the transport, the atmosphere was colder, more mechanical, familiar and sterile. The pilot, a young lieutenant with eyes too wide for a soldier, greeted them nervously. "Commander Ward, and Rex, right? They say he once sniffed out a Var-Carry inside a sealed bunker." "He did," Eli replied flatly. "Then he ripped it in half." The lieutenant went pale and said nothing more. As Earth shrank behind them and Jupiter grew in the forward screen, Eli reviewed the last known logs from Outpost Vega 6. Blackout. No alarms. No distress signals. Just silence. Too much silence. Rex sat beside him, eyes closed but awake. "They've evolved," he said quietly. "I can feel it in their frequency pattern. It's sharper. Cleaner. Less desperate." "Means they've had time," Eli murmured. "Yes. And they're hunting again." As the ship approached the Vega sector, Eli looked once more at the dog beside him, his comrade, his weapon, his only constant. "You ready?" Rex opened his eyes, and for a moment, despite the cybernetics, he looked just like any loyal dog would. But his voice was anything but simple. "They came back," he said. "But this time, they forgot one thing." "What's that?" "That man is never alone." Eli looked forward, toward the stars. "We never were," he said. The ship plunged into darkness beyond Mars' orbit, and so began the last war. Ghosts among the stars. The EDF Sentinel drifted silently through the black near orbit of Ganymede, its stealth plating absorbing the light of Jupiter's massive bulk behind it. Inside the ship, silence weighed heavier than the artificial gravity. Commander Eli Ward adjusted the seal on his exosuit while Rex stood by the docking hatch, already suited in his reinforced body armor. The neural uplink indicator on his collar pulsed faint blue, connected and ready. Docking in 30 seconds, the pilot announced. No response from the station. Life support seems operational, but power's erratic. Expect flickers. Eli glanced at Rex. Anything. Rex sniffed the air. Residual organic matter. Blood. Decay. And something else wrong. The airlock hissed open. They stepped onto the derelict platform, Vega 6, once a thriving science outpost, now a ghost wrapped in flickering emergency lights. The hallway was smeared with reddish-black streaks. Some looked fresh. Armor plates littered the floor, scorched, cracked, sometimes twisted. No bodies. No signs of struggle. Just absence. Where's the crew? Eli muttered. Rex growled low, head tilting. Movement. Level 3. Fast. Not human. They moved in sync. Eli's rifle sweeping ahead, Rex flanking him silently. Every door they passed seemed darker than it should have been. Every light buzzed with something just under the frequency of hearing. On level 3, a trail of half-dried ichor led to the mess hall. The door was half shut, sparks crackling from the panel. Override it, Eli ordered. Rex pressed his armored paw to the floor panel. A stream of blue code ran across his collar display. The door hissed open, and the stench hit them like a wave. Rex recoiled, snarling. The mess hall was painted in blood. Not just human. Varkari ichor shimmered faintly green under emergency lights, slathered across walls, tables, ceilings. A crew member's uniform lay in the corner, no body inside it. Just shredded fabric. Then came a sound. A wet clicking. High and rhythmic, echoing from the vents. Rex ceiling. Too late. A blur of limbs and fangs dropped from above. The Varkari drone screeched, its mouth distending unnaturally wide. It landed on Eli, sharp limbs clawing at his armor, but Rex hit it mid-lunge, driving it into the wall with a growl that was more metal than beast. The two rolled, claws, jaws, cybernetics, and teeth. Eli raised his rifle and fired once. The plasma bolt cracked the creature's side open. It slumped, still twitching, still alive. Wait, Rex growled. Don't kill it. Eli hesitated, then nodded. Rex placed a paw on the creature's chest and interfaced, hacking its primitive neural cortex. Static buzzed. Then distorted words formed through Rex's collar speaker. You brought the wrong one. The mind killer, the howl that burns us. Eli stepped closer. You're afraid of him. The drone writhed. Not just him. All of them. The four-legged noise. They carry death in thought. Rex looked at Eli. They can't process our frequency. Dogs' brainwaves short-circuit their telepathic link. They're biologically incompatible with canine neurology. You mean, dogs are poison to them? Rex's ears tilted. Exactly. The drone shrieked, and before Eli could react, it snapped its own neck, dead. A silence fell over the room again. Eli stared down at the corpse. All this time we've been building weapons, fleets, AI drones, and it turns out humanity's best defense has 4 legs and a tail, Rex finished. They left the mess hall and returned to the central terminal. Eli plugged into the command console. Video logs showed the attack, Varkari infiltrators materializing from shadows, merging from darkness, disabling defenses telepathically. But when Rex appeared on the station's exterior camera during their arrival, the Varkari scattered. Intel will need this, Eli said. We've got something they don't. Rex looked out the observation window, eyes narrowed. They know we're coming now. Eli nodded grimly. Good. As the Sentinel disengaged from the ruined outpost, trailing the silent wreckage of Vega, 6 behind it, one thing became clear. This wasn't just a war between species. This was a war of minds, and Earth had a new weapon the stars had never seen coming. And he had a wagging tail. The Ark Protocol. The Earth Alliance command chamber sat deep within the orbital fortress Sol's aegis, floating like a silent guardian between Earth and the Moon. Its titanium alloy walls vibrated faintly with the gravity stabilizers, but inside, the atmosphere was anything but stable. Holographic displays showed real-time feeds from the destroyed Vega 6 outpost. Grainy footage of Varkari infiltrators dissolving into walls. The horror in the crew's final messages. And in the last moments, Eli and Rex standing unharmed in the blood-soaked corridors, their arrival having sent the remaining swarm into retreat. The room was silent. A dozen military officials and 3 Earth Council members sat at the long table. At its center stood Commander Eli Ward, armor-scarred, eyes sharp. And beside him, still and watchful, sat Rex. Eli didn't wait for invitation. We've been fighting the Varkari wrong. They're not afraid of guns, ships, or drones. They're afraid of him. He nodded toward Rex. A murmur rippled through the room. You're saying they're biologically vulnerable to dogs? Scoffed Admiral Thorne, his thick mustache twitching with disbelief. Not just dogs, Eli said. Specifically, the neural frequency generated by their unique brain patterns. When bonded with humans, those signals intensify. The Varkari can't block them. It shorts their telepathic control network. That's why they fled Vega 6. Councilwoman Isha leaned forward. And you propose what exactly? Eli stepped closer to the central holotable. A projection flared to life, a rotating schematic of Project Arc. Codename, the Arc Protocol. We build neural uplink harnesses based on Rex's model. Select, train, and bond military dogs with elite units. We scale Rex's effect across our forces. Not machines. Not drones. Companions. And aid passed out data chips, detailing neural compatibility ratios, battlefield success rates, and archive Varkari response patterns to canine presence. A long pause. Then laughter, dry and scornful, from Thorne. You want me to tell Earth's military council that we're going to win a war with pets? Eli's eyes narrowed. With soldiers. The kind who don't ask for medals or sleep. The kind who detect threats before sensors can, and will rip apart a Varkari before it even moves. Rex stepped forward. He sat directly in front of Thorne and locked eyes. Then he spoke, his voice calm, clipped and artificial, but unmistakably aware. I've fought in 17 missions, neutralized 82 hostiles, saved Eli Ward's life 6 times. How many lives have you saved, Admiral? Thorne paled. Silence fell again. Deeper, heavier. Councilwoman Isha exhaled slowly. Commander, how long would it take to implement? We already have trained K9s with high neural aptitude and military reserves. With uplink harnesses, we could field test 300 bonded units in 2 weeks. And the rest? Eli looked at Rex. We'll train them. Together. 2 weeks later, the Arc Protocol was real. Across Earth's military compounds, canines of all breeds, shepherds, retrievers, huskies, Malinois, underwent neural scans and cognitive empathy evaluations. Dogs that passed were paired with combat veterans. Some soldiers scoffed. Others cried at the chance to fight beside something pure again. The bonding process wasn't instant. But when it worked, the effect was unmistakable. Improved reflexes, faster response to threats, early detection of cloaked enemies, emotional stabilization under pressure. And across the solar network, Varkari ships were pulling back, regrouping. They had noticed. Inside the Luna training complex, Eli walked down a row of glass panels. On the other side, dozens of soldier dog pairs trained together, leaping through obstacles, coordinating attacks, syncing mental patterns. Rex walked beside him, watching. You think it'll be enough? Eli asked. Rex's eyes glowed softly. No, but it will give us a chance. Alarms blared suddenly across the base. Eli turned. What is it? A technician ran up, pale and breathless. Varkari fleet. 97 warships. Mobilizing near Saturn. Estimated course. Direct path to Earth. ETA? Eli asked. 4 days. Eli clenched his jaw. So much for time. He turned toward the training field, where dogs barked and soldiers rallied. Get the ARC teams ready, he said. Rex growled softly, tail straight. They're coming. Eli looked skyward through the glass. Then so are we. And in the cold dark beyond Saturn, the swarm stirred. They remembered the ancient fear. The howl that cut through their hive minds. The sound that no machine could fake. The last stand at Luna Gate. The Luna Gate defense station loomed over Earth's pale moon like a defiant fist. Its curved titanium wings bristled with rail cannons, EMP launchers, and plasma turrets. Thousands of Earth defense soldiers moved inside it like clockwork, prepping for what might be the final battle. Above them, in the void near Saturn, the Varkari swarm approached, 97 warships, each brimming with biomechanical horror. Commander Eli Ward stood on the command deck, helmet off, watching the threat approach on the star map. Beside him sat Rex, his steel-plated armor shining under the blue overhead lights. His breathing was calm, focused, ready. All ARC protocol units report ready. A voice crackled in Eli's earpiece. He closed his eyes for a moment, then opened them slowly. Begin Phase 1. Across Luna's surface and in orbit, ARC teams, elite human dog strike squads, moved into position. Each soldier wore a neural sync harness. Each dog stood beside them, silent, alert, and deadly. This wasn't just a defense. This was humanity's howl into the void. The Valkyrie fleet surged into firing range. Black, twisted ships that moved like living things, exhaling clouds of telepathic static. At once, they unleashed their first wave, spore pods screaming through space, targeting Luna's outer hull. Eli gave the order. All ARC teams, engage. The response was immediate. Where automated drones failed to detect cloaked invaders, dogs led the charge. Rex's counterpart teams, Spike in Berlin sector, Shadow in Orbit Wing 3, Kira on the South Crater line, sensed Valkyrie infiltrators milliseconds before humans could react. The canines barked sharp and furious, causing chaos in the Valkyrie neural net. Telepathic links collapsed. The swarm faltered. Inside the main chamber, a breach alarm sounded. A Valkyrie warrior burst through the upper airlock, a writhing, six-limbed beast dripping acidic saliva. Eli raised his rifle, but Rex lunged faster. With speed only enhanced by years of neural upgrades, Rex collided with the creature mid-leap, teeth locking around its throat. It didn't screech. It shuddered, its mind shorting from direct contact. Then it collapsed. Eli helped Rex up. "You all right?" Rex nodded, blood dripping from his jaw. "Still alive." "Good," Eli said, wiping his rifle barrel. "Because we're going in." Phase 2. Eli and Rex launched aboard a stealth pod with 2 other ARC teams. Their target, the Valkyrie hive mind vessel, the command ship broadcasting the swarm's psychic instructions. If they could destroy it, the rest would lose coordination. Confusion. Chaos. They breached the vessel's hide like a splinter through rotten wood. Inside, it was alive, walls pulsing, whispering. Eli's squad pushed through tunnels of muscle and bone. Every few feet, a Valkyrie burst from the walls, but the dogs were faster. Barking, biting, attacking with calculated brutality. They reached the core, a massive chamber lit with dim green veins. In the center, suspended in black fluid, floated the Queen Mind, a swollen brain-like entity encased in armor and nerves. She turned toward them, not with eyes, but with presence. "You dare bring the death frequency to me," her voice echoed in their heads. Eli gritted his teeth. "No." He did. Rex stepped forward, and he barked. One, short, thunderous sound, emitted not just through voice, but through his entire neural core. The frequency ripped through the Queen's hive link like fire through dry grass. The scream that followed wasn't physical, it was felt. The Queen flailed, tendrils snapping, power surging. "She's vulnerable," Eli shouted. He pulled the fusion grenade from his belt. "Rex out now!" But Rex didn't move. Her control nodes, too many. Must finish. Eli hesitated, then nodded once. "I'll come back for you." He turned, sprinted down the hall as Rex leapt into the Queen's chamber. The ship shuddered as the charge detonated. On Luna's command deck, lights flickered. Then the Valkyrie fleet froze. Ships spun out of formation. Weapons stopped firing. Some collided mid-space, others drifted like dead things. Cheers erupted across Earth's channels. But Eli wasn't cheering. He was on the lunar surface, staring at the black sky where the hive mind vessel exploded. "Rex!" No signal. No ping. Then, a bark crackled through his comm weak. Faint, but real. Hours later, emergency crews pulled a broken metal pod from lunar orbit. Inside, burned but alive, curled an unconscious Rex. Eli fell to his knees beside him. "You did it, buddy. You did it." Rex opened one eye and murmured, "Told you man's never alone." Epilogue. The war was over. Valkyrie signals vanished from known space. Earth rebuilt. And the ARC protocol became global doctrine, not because of their victory, but because of what they proved. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't technology. It was loyalty, courage, and the unbreakable bond between man and dog.